88% of the congressional seats are being voted on this year. 88%. And that's important to understand because Bernie Sanders is calling for a political revolution, and he might actually get that political revolution. Or maybe Trump could also. Elections in of themselves, since the leadership has changed, are political revolutions anyways. Of course, true blue revolutions are revolutions too, as is changing the Constitution, since changing the entire rule book to the game is revolutionary. Exit polls found out that 1 out of 5 Super Tuesday Republican voters made up their minds in the last few days. Just in the last few days. To be honest, unless Obama endorses him, Donald Trump is the Republican nomination. Coalesce around that. That's what y'all usually do, right? He's the fucking Republican nomination. Chris Christie's right, and you guys are all going to look fucking stupid because you're not being conservative. You're toppling the anyways. 4 U.S. states on Super Tuesday went to Bernie Sanders, and they are Minnesota, Colorado, Vermont, and Oklahoma. And 7 states, 6 of them deep south, Massachusetts, and 1 U.S. territory, American Samoa, went to that chicken hawk, Shitlery shittin'. So Shitlery shittin' wind up having a better night than Bernie. Shitlery Super Tuesday has widened her delegate over Bernie Sanders. So before, she was only winning by 24, but because of Super Tuesday, so far, it's 6:02 a.m., March 2nd, the day after, and she is assured of winning, this is from the AP, at least 457 of the 865 delegates at stake for the night, and Bernie Sanders will gain at least 286. So 457 is what she got, 286 is what he got. And then there's 122 delegates that remain to be allocated, depending on the margin of victory in several states and congressional districts. So, still don't know what we're going to do with these 122 delegates. But going into Super Tuesday, the scoreboard was 90-66. 90-66. That's after South Carolina. Shitlery had a 24 delegate advantage, based on the wins from the 4 previous primaries and caucuses. So she was up by 24. Now she's 195 delegates up. So she's extended her 24 delegate lead to 195. The scoreboard is 547 to 352, and that's not including those 122 unallocated delegates, which we haven't figured out yet. But so right now, Shitlery shittin' is 195 delegates up. Okay. But let's see. That's 352 delegates for Bernie. 352. He got hundreds of delegates. Plus his 22 supers. So that's 374 delegates so far who's in favor of democratic socialism. 374. If I would have told you a year ago, that this was going to happen, you would have laughed. You'd be like, ha, ha, ha. No, I don't think so. So Super Tuesday wasn't as bad of a bloodbath. It wasn't as bad as a Nagasaki genocidal decimation as I had been expecting after South Carolina. So it takes the magic number of 2,383. I think it's 84. But they keep saying 83. 83 or 84 delegates to win the nomination. That's when, between the supers and the Democratic delegates, the person goes past the tipping point, because you have 4,000, you got 4,700 total delegates, but to get the majority, right? So once you get the majority, you pass the tipping point, throw a couple more hundred on top of it, get the public against the person, you could force them out of the race. Hillary ran the gauntlet in 2008. I think they went to the very end. They had every single election. And eventually, after several days of mulling over what's going on, probably getting herself a Secretary of State job and some other jobs, she, quit or conceded and then backed Barack up and made a strong coalition type of government. So we're looking at the leaders right now, okay? When you run for office, you got, you kind of have a piece of the bully pulpit, because this is a person that could be president a lot of times, but a lot of times they only do the gaffes and you don't have the, executive authority. So anyways, 2,383 delegates are what you need in order to win. So the scoreboard for now after Super Tuesday is 547 to 352. Shitlery is up by 195. Since 2,383.84 is the magic number of delegates that will make up the majority for the July 25th Philly convention, Shitlery will need 17 to 1,800 more delegates. Right? She has 547. She still needs 1,700 to 1,800 to get to the halfway mark, 2383. And it's mathematically impossible for her to accomplish that in the month of March. She was to win every single election in the month of March and get 100%. There's not enough. There's not enough delegates in March for her to be able to reach that 1,700 threshold. So it'll have to happen in April or later or never, because Shitlery's going to lose and Bernie's going to win. This election is all but guaranteed to run the gauntlet, going all the way to the Washington, D.C. election on June 14th and beyond, to Philly at the Wells Fargo Center at the Democratic National Convention. And that's ironic, the Wells Fargo Center, right? Isn't that a big financial institution? Pretty sure it is. It's perfect for Shitlery, right? There's her benefactors right there. But it's, I thought I was going to run the gauntlet to begin with. That's what it looked like, right? Iowa, the tie, it looked like they were going to be neck and neck all the way. So this pretty much guarantees that they're going to go all the way to the end. Every state is in play. It's going to go to June 14th. Every delegate is in play. Every voter is in play. If you haven't had your contest, if you're one of the 11 plus, one of the 15 states or the U.S. territory that's voted, then you're out. You're out. So, it's going to go the gauntlet. Hillary went all the way to the end. I'm pretty sure that, or close to it. And so if her resolve can carry her forward into, with a losing campaign against Obama, then Bernie, he's been very serious about going all the way to the end. He's serious about, he's building all this. I mean, that's just, it would be nuts to think that Bernie would just drop out. That'd be the only way that he couldn't go run the distance. So I'm 99% confident he won't do that. And absent something crazy like that happening, the Democratic primary is going to go all the way to the end. June 14th, 2012, with the Washington, D.C. elections. And that'll be my last point, at least for this little bit. I did want to point out the southern states are all red states. Hillary won, except for Massachusetts. And what the fuck is up with Massachusetts? What the Massachusetts? The fuck are y'all doing? That's a list you probably don't want to be a part of, right? The former Confederacy, you got the state that founded the Ku Klux Klan, you got one state that beat the crap out of MLK and threw him in jail, and Bull Connor and the fire hydrants. You got another state that was the capital of the Confederacy. So KKK, Confederacy, Massachusetts. Massachusetts actually fought their revolution 2 years before the Declaration of Independence was issued. 1774, they kicked all the British out of Massachusetts. Massachusetts fired that first, shot heard around the world. Literally, they fired the shot that was heard around the world, the Lexington and Concord. That's in Massachusetts. So, where the actual American Revolution began, the Democratic voters there were not ready for a political revolution, and every election's a political revolution. So, even the ones that are like, keep everything the same, because that's essentially what the Republicans have to say. We're conservative, so we want to keep everything the same, but if you vote for me, I'll change everything that was changed back to the way it was. And wait, what you're conservative, but you're for change, you're against the status quo and for it? It's quite of a mixed It's like a ice cream sandwich with like mayonnaise and cheese and ham. You're just putting two things together that doesn't make any sense. Okay. So, the Washington, D.C., I want to point out the democracy of Washington, D.C. They only have a non-voting delegate that serves in the House. D.C. does. Eleanor Holmes Norton. She serves in the House of Representatives, but she's not permitted to vote. So just like the territories, just like I think American Samoa has a delegate too, a non-voting delegate. So yeah, non-voting, come on in. Oh, you're a non-voter, then get the fuck out of here. Politicians understand power, so you can observe and just kind of look at everybody if you're a non-voting delegate. But if you have no vote, you have no say-so, you have no sway, except for your own charisma, that which, hey guys, I'm from American Samoa, you know, it's in the Pacific, and we do all these weird, cool things. I'm a cool guy, hang out with me, pass some legislation. Oh yeah, we don't have any electricity, can you do something about that? So they have no vote. And they pay taxes, so that's taxation without representation. D.C. needs some voting rights. Now, D.C. never had voting rights until 1961, so they're allowed to vote on the presidential election. They offer 3 little measly electors to the Electoral College, and they vote for the president and vice president. They won that in 1961 after the 23rd Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. So the 23rd Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, passed in 1961, gives Washington, D.C. the right to vote for the president, but they don't have any other representation besides their 3 little measly electors to the Electoral College, which is just like these fucking super pooper delegates. So Eleanor Holmes Norton, you know, I'm sure she's standing strong and she's she's doing her thing, but she's non-voting delegate. It's taxation without representation in the nation's capital. So, 1978, Congress passed a constitutional amendment to give Washington, D.C. full voting representation, but it wasn't ratified by the states. So all the other states, no, you can't be your own thing. We want our votes to matter, not you, stupid D.C. And so the citizens who live in Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, the capital of the United States of America, our imperial power, right? Our imperial government. They have to pay taxes there without representation. It's taxation without representation. D.C., which legalized marijuana along with 4 other states, Washington, Oregon, Colorado, and Alaska. They've legalized marijuana. They don't have any voting rights. There's poverty and issues. They're primed. They're ready for a revolution. D.C. is ready for a revolution. D.C. should vote for Bernie Sanders. So I do hope we can flip over the black vote. And that's it. That's where we stand. So it wasn't a bloodbath. It wasn't that bad. Here we are. 4 states. Victory. He's still in the race. Everybody wanted to call him out, right? Say his entire thing was over in South Carolina. Fuck you assholes. Stupid hating motherfuckers. They're not on board. They're not helping him. They're not getting him anywhere. And so they're just like, the people that are apathetic who make their stupid ass predictions are just as bad as the Hillary Clinton or the Bernie Sanders supporters who tried to get the other person to admit that you would vote for the other person if they don't win the election. My guy's Bernie. That's who it is. You want me to talk about after the election? Well, when we get there, I'll think about it then. I'm not thinking about it right now. I'm thinking about the Democratic primary. So, it would be like if I was talking to you, let's assume you're a shitler. Let's assume you've tolerated all my insults, right? And you've been able to hear me call her shitler and you're still with me. So, I'm like, listen. We're Democrats, right? So when Bernie Sanders gets the nomination, you're going to vote for him, right? You're going to vote for the Democrat no matter what. And if, you know, maybe we should ask that question because it's, even if that was true, it's like you have to consent. It's like you have to say, well, okay, I guess I would vote for them. I'm not, no, Shitlery is not guaranteed my vote. I like Jill Stein better. I like Jesse Ventura. Jill Stein's in there now under the Green Party. I would like for her to gain some more traction so she wins, but I'd feel great. I would feel great voting for Jill Stein. I vote for that which I want. I'd rather vote for something I want and not get that, and then instead vote for something I don't want and get that. It's like, you know, I would love to have a chocolate malt right now. So I vote in favor of me getting a chocolate malt. Okay, here, I got a chocolate malt. I'm happy. I voted for something. I got it. But if I didn't get it, okay. So I didn't get my chocolate malt. But if I voted for something I didn't want, yeah, just put that dog shit and mix it up with some crushed ice. Well, what else am I supposed to do, you know? It's either that or the vomit. I don't know. You gotta choose the lesser of the two evils, you know? You have to, between a douchebag or a turd sandwich, you gotta choose one. And so, alright, give me that douche bag with crushed ice. And then if I get that, did I win? I didn't win. That's my vote. It's valuable. I feel good about it. I feel good about Jill Stein. I feel good about Jesse the Body Ventura. And I feel good about Bernie Sanders over everybody right now. Bernie Sanders is the man. He's been fighting for 50 fucking years for the same shit. That's a weird strategy. In fact, that's, if we don't go for the honest people anymore, the politicians for the rest of, you know, America's life will always just be fucking plastic, fake, corporate, you know? Tell us the truth. We need to know the truth. We don't... Yeah, I guess we like the bullshit if you live in your life and you don't want to pay attention, yeah. I guess it's nice not to have to pay attention to the bullshit. But if shit's going down and it's wrong and it's bad and they just been bullshitting you to the whole time, hey, everything's good. I heard everybody's winging it. But if it gives you, like the TSA, it gives the illusion of order, well, the TSA's here, there's order, it's okay. The proper authorities are here. I'm safe. Okay. If that makes you feel better, but according to, you know, just logic. Stephen Hawking's the one that brought it to me, but someone was like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But the universe is expanding. And so if there is a singularity, there is a single point of the Big Bang, boom, and then it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then you have so many moving parts. You got these planets and the suns and the comets and the gravitational wave and the Higgs boson and the, you know, space-time. You know, space-time is just, and all the light waves and all the things just going through space, right? Everything's going here and going there and the thing's expanding. It would just be like, it would just be more and more chaotic. It would get more and more crazy. If I was just to push a ball in a straight line, it would go in a straight line, and I could predict, you know, put that ball in the same spot and push it, I could predict where it goes. But there's, you know, if I try to figure out the world, then the world, there's rocks and balls and other, you know, wind resistance. And my point being is that the universe gets more and more chaotic and more crazy. So anybody that's having some type of illusion of order, you're just doing that. That's some comfort food. That's just some comfort medicine. That would be like living in the city and it's on fire, but instead of trying to put the fire out, you're just, you know, making sure your little apartment, all the figurines, all your precious moment statues are just perfectly aligned and dusted, and the city's on fire, man. You know? Just because your statues are in a nice order and it gives you a peace of mind and comfort, that's, you know, that's the red pill or the blue pill. Whichever the pill is, the false world. So if you're, you know, you like the false world and the false world gives you comfort, then stay in your false world. But if you want to live in reality and experience the truth, and it's hard, you know, it's a struggle. But it's a fun, wonderful struggle. Then wake up. 20 minutes, I need to do these quicker. But I think I'm more listenable, right? I'm more, when I'm talking regular, it's easy to hear me, but the information, just the facts, man. But can I give the facts to where it's entertaining? Tomo News is the only, alright. Peace out, everybody.